Well, here we are, September 11th. This is the 5th video, 5 months since it's first started operating, and we're going to check and see how things are doing after this period of time. This is September 11th, so we're actually coming to the period when it's more ending of the season, and we see harvest is occurring. And here's one little self-harvest that's just happened right here when I came out, which is one of the cantaloupes that's fallen off. And you put my hand down here and you'll see it's not exactly a huge cantaloupe, but we've eaten quite a few of these now, and I'll show you over here. We've got a few of them in their little hanging baskets. There's two. Those are pretty ripe now, and then we have two more over here that are not really ripe yet, but they're getting there. And this is the only vine that's got some green leaves on it. You'll see that if you followed the update before, a plague hit this, and you can see that actually everything is pretty dead. This down here that's green is actually a cucumber, but the vine is really dead. And I read up on this, and this is a bacterial blight that's spread by the spotted cucumber beetle, of which we have many, and of which there is absolutely no treatment, and there are no cantaloupes, no melons that are really resistant to this particular blight. So that's unfortunate, but we've had some of these cantaloupes, and although they're little, they are absolutely delicious. And we might as well go around this way this time. I'll first pick up this cantaloupe down here, and we'll put it in our harvest basket here. And we're going to fill this up today. And I did it a few days ago, and it was a major harvest about 4 or 5 days ago. And here's a picture of what we got out of that harvest, and you can see it's quite an amazing quantity of vegetables. It weighed about 15 pounds, and we had peppers, 2 kinds of tomatoes, 2 kinds of cucumbers, eggplants, all kinds of tomatoes, and everything else. So here's back to our cucumbers. These are the lemon cucumbers. Oh, look, we've got a beautiful moth in here. Let's see if we can get a good look at him. Very lovely. Our cucumbers are coming towards the end. The lemon cucumbers are still producing, and here's a one that kind of got away from us a little bit. I bet that's a little bit more lemony than we would actually like it to be. And put that in our harvest basket. But they're still coming along. The Persian cucumbers, which are my absolute favorites, are actually getting apparently towards the end, but you'll see here's one that kind of got away from me, another one in here that it's just about right. We'll pick that one right now. Others are a little bit small, so we're still getting cucumbers, but it's definitely not like it was early on. The tomatoes, now this is definitely tomato time, and you'll see here's lots of red tomatoes, and these are called stupus, and they're an heirloom tomato, and you can see they're all the way down on here. They're all starting to ripen up, and I'm going to pick some when we're done here. And then next to this is another heirloom, which is called zebra, I believe, although I've lost the name tag, or I think some animal has come and dragged it off. But you can see these are very nice big tomatoes. It's on my hand, give you a little idea of how big that is. It's really big. Our zinnias have been completely amazing. I have to raise the camera up and shoot down because they're now about 5 feet tall, and then you can see all the zinnias and all the buds, and They've been amazing. They last forever in the house. I mean, usually pick them and they're good for 2 weeks. So we have multiple bouquets. And over here, the other side with our tomatoes, which is really, I've got to back up here so you can get a full sense of what these tomatoes look like here. It's completely amazing. This hoop house is 7 feet high, and you can see the tomatoes are all reaching up, and it's good I've tied them up. And they're just completely loaded. This is Brandywine down here, and you can see the tomatoes back in there, and then all up in here. Then we have a beefsteak down in here that's got a cluster of tomatoes, and again, these are big tomatoes. Look at that. And again, tomatoes up the vine all along. And our basil continues to be beautiful. There's our basil. And then we have many celebrity tomatoes, which are going to be really our primary sauce tomato. We've got just, I can't even imagine how many pounds of tomatoes that we have here. Still more of clusters of these celebrities, and again, they are really mammoth tomatoes. Again, look at that. That is like a beefsteak tomato in size. And then really the thing that I think is the most amazing are all of our sun gold tomatoes. These plants, this is my height, and you see them just reaching up to the roof and wanting to cover the whole roof, and covered with little tomatoes. So since we have a pretty long season here, I think it'll be into November before we get a frost that will do these in. We're going to have tomatoes that are so delicious. The sun gold are absolutely the best. They are just so good. I have to take one and pop it in my mouth right now. There is that little beauty. It's going to come right in my mouth. Can't recommend these too highly. They are vigorous plants. And the tomatoes are unexcelled for taste. And then our peppers. You can see we're about to make a lot of salsa with our jalapenos here. We've got plenty of jalapenos. I've got 2 plants of them. Our green pepper plant, we only have one, but it's loaded with beautiful green peppers. And then in back we have our eggplants. And the eggplants are having a little, I'm not completely sure. There's lots of eggplants on them, and they're supposed to be small, but they're supposed to be more like this shape on this plant, and a little bigger. And I've got a few on them, but we've got plenty, and they taste delicious, but it's a little odd. And then this other eggplant is a beautiful eggplant, but it doesn't really give that many eggplants. See, we've picked a few, and they're, again, very good. It's these kind of light purple eggplants. Let's see. Here, get that there. You can see they're kind of pitifully small. So I would call the eggplants a very mixed success. So we'll have to try some different kinds next time. And our gypsy peppers are all very happy and producing lots of peppers, and of course we've been eating all these things for the last month, so we're very blessed. So here we are, probably the last real report of crops. By a month from now, I'm sure we'll be turning it over to some winter plantings. Thank you for checking in.